Hello guide, Colonel Ninny here. Welcome to Lesson 7 of How to Fly. In Lesson 6 we learned how to do a standard left-hand circuit and several types of approaches. In order for you to be able to do what I term combat approaches, you'll need to learn how to sideslip, and we're going to cover that in this video. As you leave the airfield, there's a standard method of departure. And in returning to land, you join the circuit either downwind or on base leg or straight in on final. Crossing over the airfield at midfield is also acceptable. Under combat conditions, the object is to get on the ground as soon as possible. So my preferred method is to come across midfield at high speed and then rapidly bleed off the speed and turn onto a base leg and then come in for final. There's a great demonstration of this in the multiplayer winter navigation excerpt, which also includes a side slip at the end of it. Here I'm converting my altitude to energy in the form of speed, and I'm going to cross over midfield at 700 clicks, hard back on the stick to bleed off my airspeed, gear down at 350, flaps full down at 250, and let's see what we got. I am intentionally high here on the approach in case I get attacked and need to convert that altitude to energy. I have no advantage and am in no position to attack. I just need these guys to make a decision and take off. And while I'm watching what's going on down there and trying to figure out which runway to use, somebody could be sneaking up on me right at this moment. The two bombers have gone, but the two fighters are still at the threshold of the runway. I'm not sure what they're going to do, so I'm holding it in a side slip so I can keep them in sight and see what they're doing. Side slip allows me to bleed off altitude very quickly without gaining speed. So what exactly is a side slip? It's actually cross-controlling the aircraft to create maximum drag. This is the polar opposite of coordinated flight. In other words, we are deliberately keeping the ball out of the center. A side slip is just a turn that is stopped by the rudder. The difference between a forward slip and a side slip is that the forward slip is a slip as I've demonstrated, and the side slip is maintaining the heading as we're slipping sideways in relation to that heading. A true side slip is also used as we do a crosswind landing or crosswind takeoff. The term side slip is commonly used for any intentional non-coordinated flight. I would like to land on this runway, but if I just put my nose down, I'm just going to build up speed and go flying right over it. So by utilizing side slip, I can actually land on this runway. I want to maintain my 200k speed and still lose all the altitude. And by creating all this drag with my side slip, that will get me down to the ground. As you can see, I'm using full right rudder and full left aileron deflection. So I'm trying to turn to the left, but I'm forcing myself to go to the right. Then I do the opposite, full left rudder and full right aileron. Be warned that you're in the slow flight regime, and that means that uncoordinated flight could cause a stall to happen when you least expect it. So just pay attention. And from the previous video, you can see from here that if it was just a full flap approach without a side slip, we would be too high and probably run off the end of the runway. And note how I am able to keep the speed constant at about 200. but the combination of the side slip and full flap is going to put us right down the center, touching down about halfway. Perfect. And here's another example. You can actually see the sideways movement towards the center line of the runway. In the next video, we're going to be looking at crosswind landings and takeoffs. And you guessed it, we're going to crank up the crosswind and do forward slips, side slips, and crabbing approaches. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please like it or subscribe. Or if there's another topic you'd like me to cover, please